You should move up here where you're close to the owl.
Closer to the speaker.
You're good, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. It's Tuesday, May 16. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Township of Nipissing Council meeting. Number one on our agenda, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interests? Seeing none. We'll move on to committee reports, and I'm not sure what kind of 2 weeks we've had, so I'll start with Councillor Yam.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay, good. Councillor Foot.
Nothing tonight.
Okay, Councillor Curtis.
Well, we had a library board meeting last night. So, but because it's been busy the last month, there was no activity report to be had, but we did finalize the insurance package that we'll be purchasing, and with better coverage, more comprehensive coverage than the old policy. It'll save us in excess of $400 a year. I think it came out to like 482 or something like that. So we're going to go ahead with that. Grant applications outcome. We had confirmed in principle that Young Canada Works grant, but in the end it was denied, citing the strike and the cost of the new contract for the federal employees. We had put it in our budget because we get it every year. And we did, yeah, we get every year, and we had confirmation in principle. So we're going to have to get creative in our budget commitments for this year. We have one student, we will have one student working at reduced hours, and we're looking at reducing some of the open hours on the weekends, because we took a pretty good hit from lack of grants. We're also looking at getting more creative in an attempt to deliver the current programs. The reason cited for not getting the seniors grant is that we didn't have a signed union library policy or contract. There's a draft copy that's been in existence, I think, for 2 years.
It came out last year.
Okay, last year, so I was wrong here, 1 year, but not signed by the 3-member communities. So in an effort to not lose out on grant monies in the future, the 3 municipal representatives have agreed to bring it forward to our respective councils and have this resolved in the very near future. So I will be asking that for agenda for next council meeting. And the plan is that our councilor from Wawasan will put forward a motion and get it signed first, and then we'll get it next. Then we will get it next, and then Chisholm will get the final signatures. The seniors grant application was for $12,475. It wasn't budgeted, so that didn't affect us. It was just something that we couldn't deliver. The Ontario Summer Jobs was for $8,602. It wasn't budgeted either, but we still didn't get it. And the Young Canada Works was for $5720, and it was budgeted because we had in principle. But also of note, if the Friends of the Library are unsuccessful with the capital grant for the new lighting, Marie will be reaching out to Nipissing or Chisholm to see if they'll be willing to apply for that grant for the library.
We'll look into it for sure.
Okay. HR update, looks like we'll only have 1 student this year working at reduced hours. Maple Syrup Festival, the taffy sale was a great success. Shout out to Scotiabank for their use of their location and their volunteers, as well as a shout out to Bella Hill Maple Syrup for their very generous donation of taffy and the drawing contest prizes. The Friends of the Library ran a draw for a basket of maple syrup related products, and we displayed the story walk inside the library because the weather wasn't cooperating. So at the end of the day, we put away $553 in taffy sales and the donation of $240 worth of taffy and syrup from Bella Hill Farm. So that was good of them. No movement yet on paring down the strategic plan, but we did agree that at our December meeting, we'll review our progress of implementation of the plan so that the onus is now on us to expedite the plan and get things going. Musical instrument library, we have a guitar now, and that package is put together, but until we expand it and get more instruments, we'll be storing it in. We have a things library where you can borrow stuff. We have a radon monitor and stuff like that. Kind of an interesting little library that we got there. Fundraising, an evening with Lisa Laflamme. There will be a roast beef dinner, live dinner music, fiddler and guitar by Samantha DePatie and Ariel Hyatt, as well as a silent auction. They're going to be selling 225 tickets. Ticket sale will begin hopefully in July. More to come on that as we get closer. And the library patrons will get first dibs on tickets. So tell Kristen to get a library card. Next meeting will be held June 19th.
Any questions for Councilor Curry? Okay. Councilor Butler? Okay. Fortunate, we had a Pines meeting today. First was the annual general meeting. Their auditor is Kendall Sinclair, Burl, Daigle, and Holden. I slurred that one. Approved the financial statement, and they had a clean audit, and he gave us some tips for the future. We went into regular meeting next. The garden committee had a plan for 400. We accepted a carpet quotation. We had the quote in the fall. And what happens now is most of these quotes are good for a month. So by the time we acted on it today, it was up $600. And that was still lower than the others. So that was a positive. They brought in a new water sprinkler system, had a major leak pressure. So the sprinkler system is going to cost much more, and they're working on the pet policy because they tried bringing the pet policy. And there was a lot of discussion, everything from you're allowed to have a pet in a public building. But then the question is, do we allow 20 people to have 20 pets? And then there are 2 doubles. So do they get 2 pets each? And is a bird or a snake a pet? So it just kept going on. So it's going back for further discussion. And we'll look at that next time. And so our next meeting is June 20th. So day after yours, I think. And then Tuesday, today, we had a Sturgeon Nipissing French River advisory. They said, and last week again, speaking to the government, I said, if the outflow in the lake is the same as the inflow, has the lake peaked? And they said, we wouldn't say that. And I said, if they're both the same, could I say that? Oh, you could say that. And I said, so by Thursday of last week, it was at 196.09. And I said, it stayed the same for 3 days, inflows and outflows. So it has peaked. You could say that, but they won't say that, So it's interesting. So I have said the lake is officially peaked unless there's a lot of rain. Inflow shows signs of trending down. They agreed with that. Today it was 190, or Friday it was 196.09. Today it is 196.06. So it's coming down 3 centimeters. They will continue to adjust discharge, but the lake should drop 1 to 1.5 centimeters per day. And again, then they say, if it doesn't rain, They'll close the Little Chaudière within the next week and regulate the lake with the remaining dams. Today, and you just looked at this day, the Sturgeon River was at 199. The average daily inflow on all the rivers was 241. They're letting out 353. So it's got to go down, 241 versus 353. So it will drop until it gets into the navigation range, we hope, and then we hope that they will hold it. And the interesting thing is the people in the lower fringe have asked to hold it now with the same discharge because they're at spawn. And if they drop it, even
There's a
a
spot.
few inches here, 2 inches on our lake will drop it about almost 30 inches on the river. So that would open up the spawn, it'd be over. So they're trying to keep the discharge similar so it's covered. So they will have to do that for 7 to 10 days, I think, before the hatch, or 10 to 14 days, something like that. So discharge should stay the same. And the next date update is Friday, May 19th. So, but no more meetings. At the last meeting, there were lots of questions and everything like that. And so they said, well, first of all, they put everybody on mute and then tell us what's going to happen. And then said, thank you, and we'll see you next year. So we're done. So with that, that's the end of that committee. And the only thing now is, as long as they don't drain the lake like they did last fall,
Yeah.
we'll be good. So we just wait and see. So spring and fall, the rest hopefully will all work out. So now we can move on to number 3, adopt the minutes of the meeting held May 2nd. So we'll move to Councilor Butler and Councilor Turkey. Thank you. And I'll move over here. Number R 2023-123. Moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Kirky, that the minutes of the council meeting held May 2nd, 2023 be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Sure can. Don't drink too much. The next one is Corey Gravel from the Alsace boundary. We need a mover and a seconder, Councilor Yem. Councilor Kirky. Number 2023-124, moved by Councilor Yem, seconded by Councilor Kirky, that we award tender Nipissing Public Works 2023-11 for the supply, crush, and apply approximately 3,500 ton of 7/8 crushed quarry granite applied to the Boundary Alsace Road to Evan Hughes Excavating. A total tender award of $67,037.25, including applicable taxes. All in favor? Carried. Next. Okay, right. I think you went through this. It was an owner's task. A lot of this was updated
Yes.
and yep. So anyway, it just basically an information item done by the 4 townships and going over everything with community safety and well-being. And it's done how often?
We need to review it every year. It was put together 2 years ago.
And a lot of numbers, a lot of material, interesting reading. And this is strictly an information item, nothing that we are acting on at this time. But when we do so, it will be with our neighboring communities. And they're revitalizing the community, whatever group as well, well-being group that's the Powassan Health Unit, but they're not health unit, community health.
But then they also,
Family Health Center, but what they're doing is they're sending out a monkey thing,
Survey Monkey.
Survey Monkey. We'll all get the surveys, and then after they get it, then they'll call in the monkeys. We'll have a meeting. So till then, all good. And that'll just kind of follow up on a lot of the things that are done in here as well.
Yes, they worked with us on our plan as well. They're
Right.
one of our partners.
So mover to seconder to adopt this. Okay, Counselor Foot. Counselor Butler. So it's number R 2023-125, moved by Counselor Foot, seconded by Counselor Butler, that we receive the community safety and well-being plan update as presented. All in favor? Carried. We talked about the Crime Stoppers at the last meeting, so we said that we would donate $100. So mover and seconder, Counselor Yam and Counselor Butler. It's number R 2023-126, moved by Counselor Yam, seconded by Counselor Butler, that we donate $100 to the Near North Crime Stoppers for 2023 events. All in favor? Carried. Correspondence. First one is municipality of Waterloo. What they're looking at, they want to, and again, they haven't asked for anything yet. They are going to forward it, and of course, it's going to AMO, but when they say all municipalities, we count as one of the 444. What they want is on your election applications that they remove your address on forms so that people don't come to your house if you get elected and then burn you an effigy and something like that. And the other thing they are looking at right now, the protecting the privacy of donors over $100. I'm not sure if that should be protected or not. Maybe it should be out there that so-and-so gave a candidate thousands and thousands of dollars. But this is what AMO is going to look at, and they're going to make recommendations. Those are the things that I certainly picked up on. I'm sure nobody wants people coming to your house, but at the same time, the donor thing, I think they need to take a look at.
I keep getting hung up on this donor thing. There are donors.
Yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, some people have donors. I would be really interested to see with the 103 people vying for the mayor of Toronto, 103 have put in their papers. Now they did what Food Bank, Daily Harvest Food Bank or whatever had one last night, I think. And there were only 5 of them there. Saunders didn't show, but somebody stormed up, tore down the backdrop, and they had to take them out in security. And that is the first one they've had in Toronto. And don't think that there aren't donors in the city of Toronto, you know.
Well, I'm sure that there's a lot of personal interest groups.
Yes, a lot of personal interest groups. So it's just whether or not this is all allowed in the Election Act. The next one, reducing insurance costs. We've done everything and supported everyone that's had anything to say with that. And it still comes down to there's only really 2 major ones. AMO policy update. So AMO is pointing out how they're supporting high-speed internet. They're supporting increased housing. And they're still in consultation on prohibiting fees for locates. So nothing has come from that. And so that, on that same thing, we have One Call Act regulation. And that's where they haven't done anything yet. They're still consulting on one call locates for the summer of 2023, but they said for sure, no fees at least till April of 2024.
2024.
Right. But that's still not for sure. They're still discussing and debating it. So,
Well, the argument is still out there that, you know, a corporation the size of Enbridge that keeps, every quarter keeps turning in record profits. And yet they're turning around free use of municipal properties. In most cases, not all cases, but most cases, free use of municipal properties. And then they want to go and do this. And it's a safety issue. It's not, it's, to me, it's still corporate greed.
yeah,
That's my opinion.
it might be a money issue.
Yeah.
Then we had, okay, Tweed Council, again, Tweed, Municipal Tweed Council meeting. And that again is information item over better use of Bell and Hydro One polls should be shared instead of duplication. Then we go to the County of Prince Edward. And again, information item regarding intimate partner violence and violence against women. They're saying it's epidemic, and they're circulating the resolution, but it too has gone to, because it's a question of epidemic, you know, and higher parties are well-versed in legalese are looking over the same thing, because I don't know how I determine what an epidemic is. And still from the same Prince Edward County, they're talking about the provincial planning statement. Bill 23, I haven't read it all, but there are no initiatives in our area that could be a concern. But if you're in Southern Ontario, it's a concern, but not for us at this time. And the last one was Cambridge. And that was on, yeah, codes of conduct. It's already in second reading. So it's there. It's up to our members of parliament now to decide if it's going to go through or not. But second reading's there. So again, it's more information. But they were busy in Prince Edward County. They were very busy. Any other comments or questions? Because we're not going to let those locates go. We're going to continue to watch this and watch INMO and what they do with it and the government, you know. So, but again, information at this time. So any other comments or questions? Yep.
I put my hand up to the.
Okay, for the motion, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so I've got it moved by Councillor Butler, second by Councillor Kirky. So it's number R 2023-127, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we accept the correspondence as presented. All in favor? Carried. You know, we've got a newer version on paper today. And okay. Council expenses, Omega News subscription.
They don't send it out to everyone anymore. So we just got one, because we need it for our advertising.
Okay, good. And the thing that comes out of the Nugget, I don't want to subscribe to that either. So look over the accounts, if there's anything new that's on there that we haven't put in the budget or anything like that. If you see something, mention it because I have,
We have all of the bills here, so if there's any
Yeah.
questions.
everything's there.
I can't see what's changed from the one that I printed off at home.
So there were two extra bill ones. They weren't very big, but they were in there.
Oh, I see, okay.
And I had emailed the report this morning as soon as I could, so that you had time to look it over before tonight.
Yeah, well, I had a look at it and I didn't see it, so I could have been missing it.
It's camouflaged. Right, chief?
Yes, sir. Blame me, it was my fault. My accounts came in late.
And it didn't really add up to a hill of beans. So mover and the seconder. Okay, we're going kitty corner with Councilor Butler. Councilor Flynn.
I want to shoot my neighbors at me.
Oh, right, jumped right on that. It's number R 2023-128, moved by Councilor Butler, seconded by Councilor Foot. Statement of accounts dated May 11th, 15th, and 16th, 2023, totaling $189,532.84 be approved. All in favor? Carried. And I'm glad we have these in advance so you can look over them and be prepared. Okay, so we follow along. We go to number 9, closed session. And before Will leaves, I need to read. So to go into closed session, I need a mover and a seconder. Okay. Councilor Turkey and Councilor Butler, because I was looking at, okay, and it's lengthy because there are a number of different items this time. So it's number R 2023-129, moved by Councilor Turkey, seconded by Councilor Butler. Excuse me, that this part of our meeting will be closed to the public as authorized by section 2393.1 of the Municipal Act 2001 C25 for the consideration of the following subject matter: educational or training sessions. Purpose of this closed session, council training for the purposes of review of municipal procedures and documents regarding strategic plan. Next is section 2392B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. The purpose of this closed session, council discussion of complaint received. Then section 2392E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Purpose of this closed session, council discussion for the direction of potential litigation over 2 land matters. Section 2392K, opposition, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. Purpose of this closed session, council discussion regarding ongoing negotiations for municipal services. I've got 6:58 PM. All in favor?